Oh my god, the view you get from up here is insane. As you can see, there's still loads and loads of work that's been going on throughout the day and the past few weeks. Yo, what is going on guys? My name is TheJackSilkstone and welcome back to yet another Project Exodus construction update here from the Thorpe Park Resort. Before we get into things, I do apologise for my slightly croaky voice. We were up at Alton Towers on the weekend at the Attraction Source event and my voice has very much gone from the after party, but I'm going to power through regardless today because I have so many exciting Project Exodus updates to share with you guys. Obviously, if you watched the previous Exodus update, you'll know that it was probably the most exciting thing that has happened in regards to the UK's tallest roller coaster being built here at Thorpe Park. The first supports for Project Exodus were delivered here to the park. Now, in that last episode, I didn't actually head over to the construction site itself. So, in today's video, I'm going to head back over there because loads and loads of things have changed since I last showed you guys in the construction site. But just before we head over there, you may notice that I'm stood behind Stealth. It's quite a weird angle of the park. And this is because I'm in the location where in the last episode those supports were delivered. It's literally the island next to where the swarm is located, and as you can see down there, there's currently a big yellow crane, and that is because apparently today the golden supports for Project Exodus are being delivered here to the park. I'm not sure if they've already been delivered. It's currently about 1-2 o'clock that I'm here, so I don't know if they came this morning or if they're coming this afternoon, but either way I'm here to go and hopefully see them on this island. If not, then we'll just head straight over to the construction site and we'll carry on the update like nothing ever happened. But there's a chance that we could, for the first time, be seeing this golden colour for Project Exodus. So yeah, I'm gonna make my way down onto this island to see if we can find the golden supports. Come on. So everything was looking so good. The crane was in place. There was even a little black van with a worker sat in it. I was thinking, right, we're gonna see these gold supports when I turn this corner. But unfortunately, guys, as you can see behind me, we've still only got the white supports. I mean, I say unfortunately, it's still so exciting that we've even got these. And yeah, I believe this morning we did get a load more because of course in that previous Exodus update, the only supports that had been delivered were these like long straight white ones. But yeah, now as you can see, we've got these like big connector pieces, which are so cool to see. Because obviously if you've seen the plans for Project Exodus, you'll know that the support structure is just, I don't want to say a mess, but it basically is just a mess of supports all over the place in this one big kind of structure which holds up the entire ride pretty much, right from the lift hill to the first few inversions. And yeah, it's basically just this big old structure, and that's what these kind of connector pieces are going to be working for. These long white ones are basically going to be going off the sides of these. But yeah, for those of you that might not be quite as clued up on this project as others, basically these supports right here are going to be used higher up on the ride, and then down at the bottom, the lower kind of 100 feet or so, that colour of this ride is going to be gold, which I was hoping we'd see today, but obviously it hasn't quite arrived yet. I think it is pretty imminent, if not this afternoon, then hopefully later on this week. But yeah, everything that you see here, these white ones, are basically going to be higher up on the ride. So these could literally be some of the highest points of the support structure for this ride. Some of these could be sitting, what, 236 feet up in the air, which is insane to think. So yeah, it is a shame that we haven't quite got the gold ones in yet. But as I said, I think within the next few days, if not even this afternoon, we should be getting them. And as soon as I get any word, I will be here to show you that beautiful gold colour. But yeah, for now, we've only got the white ones. So many of you have been messaging me that you've been riding Swarm and looking out over this field because the view you get from that last corner especially is insane. You can just see all of these supports. But yeah, as I said, right now, I'm going to head over to the main Project Exodus construction site to see all of the latest updates that have happened over there. Let's head over. So here I am once again in one of my favourite places in the world currently. Not only am I within the Project Exodus construction site, but we're up on the balcony section, which means we can get an amazing view over the entire site. And just before I head down and do a little lap, I might as well take this opportunity to show you all of the updates that have happened from this slightly higher viewpoint of the site. So yeah, the last update that I filmed actually on site in this area, they just kind of started working on all of the footers down that lower end of the site. However, now, as you can probably see, these footers are going in here, there and everywhere over this entire construction site. Even if we look over to our right, just behind this blue digger, I think this is going to be my first stop when I head down out onto site. They've actually started the footers and foundations for the ride station, because of course you're going to come out, do an outer bank turn in this kind of area. This is where Rocky Express used to be back in the day, if you remember Old Town, how it used to be many months ago at this point. And then yeah, you're going to head up that massive 236 foot lift hill right to that back point of the site, and then the ride's main layout is all in this kind of area around the lake, which will eventually be refilled in. But yeah, it really is so cool to be back here, and as I've said many times, we are nearing the point where those supports that I showed you over near Swarm Island will be brought over here, and they will start to go up, and then not long after that the track itself will start to go up. So yeah, I think we are slowly but surely getting to the point where we will start seeing this project really going vertical, because obviously it is so exciting that we've seen the deconstruction of Old Town and we've seen all of these footers being poured, but at the moment it is all just still groundwork. It's the point where we do start getting the metal and the steel delivered to the site itself that things are going to get so exciting. Now, just whilst I'm talking about exciting things, if we look down here, we can actually see that wooden crate that I showed you months and months ago that got delivered with the ride's ground pins just over here. Well, that box has now been opened, so there was obviously something quite important in there in regards to the foundations and everything. Yeah, it's just so cool seeing the Mack logo on this box. Mack is of course the manufacturer of this ride. They're the ones that have actually helped design this ride and are the roller coaster manufacturer. So yes, soon we will have the world's tallest Mack hypercoaster in this area. But yeah, as I said, I'm going to do a quick little lap of the site, show you everything new that we've got, and I think I'm going to start over here where the ride station is going to be. So just next to me here is, as I mentioned, where the ride station itself is going to be. And it's so cool that we finally have these foundations going in, because it gives us a really good perspective of the kind of layout of this land once it opens, because of course where I'm standing right now you won't be able to access once the ride opens. This will just be kind of like backstage kind of service area, because just over here is where the ride's maintenance station is going to be, and just like with the station, those foundations have started going in as well. But yeah, this space just behind me is where we are going to be boarding Project Exodus when we get to ride it eventually. Those supports going straight down the middle of this little hole behind me is where the track is going to sit. So this point right here is where you're going to come out and do that beautiful outer bank turn. But yeah, that means that where this kind of blue digger is, I think it's just about out of frame at the moment. There we go, where that blue digger is, that's where we're going to be queuing for the ride. And then yeah, the van just behind that is going to be like the ride's plaza. So you've got to think you're going to be like stood in that area. Station's going to be here, and you can look up just to the right of Saw the Ride, and that is where that massive lift hill is going to go. But yeah, just in terms of the sizing of the station, you got to think that it's going to pretty much take up the space that this fence that's surrounding the hole is going to be. And yeah, obviously there have been some plans uploaded to the local council website in terms of like planning permission for the station. As always with these kind of permits and stuff, they're not always exactly how it's going to be. So yeah, this is the current kind of renderings of the station that we have, but as with all things, it can always change slightly or quite a bit. We never know, only time will tell. But yeah, it's just really nice having this kind of solid place where we know we're going to be starting and ending this awesome roller coaster ride. And now that we know exactly where this is going to be, we can kind of get a picture of where the final brake run's going to be. So back in the day, you used to obviously walk down this path for platform 15, but yeah, the ride's actual final brake run is going to be pretty much just where Loggers Leap's final double down drop used to be. So yeah, that's really cool that coming into that brake run, we're going to know that we're pretty much going over a space that used to hold a massive part of Thorpe Park history. But yeah, there we go. That's our first stop of the day. The ride station's foundations are coming along very nicely. So here I am at the top end of the Project Exodus construction site, and oh my god, the view you get from up here is insane. As you can see, there's still loads and loads of work that's been going on throughout the day and the past few weeks, but yeah, it is all just about getting these foundations poured for this ride. So yeah, dotted around the entire site, there are now just these loads and loads of pits that are surrounded by fencing and all of that stuff. And yeah, essentially the workers are going down and pouring this concrete, which the ground pins are then going into. And yeah, they're basically building the base for Project Exodus. Now I was chatting to one of the workers and he actually said that the foundations at this end of the site, the furthest end, which means the tallest point of the ride, are pretty much done. So if I turn the camera around right now, you can see that up here we've literally got the foundations fully into the ground. These at this point are roller coaster footers. Look at that. And then yeah, at the moment they're currently in the process of kind of connecting all of these, because as I said, this ride is made up of these massive structures of supports. So yeah, in order to strengthen the base and foundations and footers for these massive support structures, they're connecting them all with concrete and stuff. And then yeah, if I spin the camera around, all of these ones down here are still in that process, so slowly but surely all of these down here, and as you can see, the workers in these little holes and stuff, they will eventually look like what these currently look like, fully in the ground. But yeah, I believe where I'm stood right now is pretty much looking down where the lift hill will go, because as you can see, we've got 3 footers in a direct line. So if I was to guess, I'd say where I'm stood literally like now is very close to the first drop of the ride. I'm not sure if it's just in front of these 3 footers here, or if I'm literally stood where it's going to be and like the drop will go down this side. How cool is that, knowing that within the next like half a year I'll be able to look up at this point and 236 feet in the air we will have the UK's tallest roller coaster. Literally next to Solar Ride, which is of course 100 foot tall, it's more than twice the size of that, and that's going to be right above where I am right now. Yeah, genuinely, after talking to that worker just then, I don't think it's long at all before we start seeing supports, especially down this end of the site, because obviously when they put stuff up, they kind of start down the other end so they can then build throughout the entire site. Because obviously you've got to think, the supports down this end are naturally going to have to be like 230 foot plus. So when talking to him, it sounded like they were basically going to construct as much of this sort of long support as they could, and then they were going to put it in place and obviously crane the rest of it on top, because I don't think they'll be able to construct a 236 foot long like steel beam on this site currently. It's just not possible. So yeah, they'll have to get the support to be as big as possible, put it into place, and then crane the rest of it on top. And then yeah, obviously once the track arrives, they'll then put the track on top of that. But yeah, down this end of the site, things are really nearing completion in terms of groundwork. So yeah, this is definitely the first spot to watch for when those supports come in. Definitely within the next few months, get yourself on Samurai, Colossus and Saw, because we very well may see some vertical construction sooner rather than later. So apologies for the noise right now, I'm literally stood next to a big pump, but as you can see just behind me, we have still got that final little bit of Loggers Leap in place. And yeah, just so I make my way back to the site office now, I thought it would be cool to show you the current state of the lake because of course this used to be almost a centerpiece of Old Town. And as I said, throughout all of these construction updates, a massive part of this project was filling in this lake so that they could then put in all of the foundations and supports that are currently going in here on site. And yeah, this is how the lake is currently looking. Obviously before it used to be absolutely massive, but now they've filled it in just to this tiny little portion. And as I said, once a ride is built and it opens, the lake will be nice and open again. They'll get rid of all of the dirt that they kind of filled it in with, and it will be a beautiful open lake and almost be the centerpiece of the ride, just how it used to be the centerpiece of Loggers Leap and Old Town back in the day. But yeah, that's still a long way away, because first we've got to get all of these foundations poured, and then the supports and the track need to go up. So I've now left the construction site and I've made my way just outside of the exterior to the site itself. And when I said I'd very much recommend keeping an eye on that lower end of the site, because that is where hopefully vertical construction starts going up sooner rather than later, I'm also going to strongly recommend that you guys keep looking at the hoarding that surrounds the exterior of the site, because obviously we've had these boards be up for a very long time now, especially as you walk down just outside of Black Mirror Labyrinth. You've got all of your kind of event advertising, and then obviously we had these a little bit more recently. What I will say is these aren't going to stay here forever. At some point they will be updated, and just like with the vertical construction here on site, I believe it will be sooner rather than later. So yeah, if you head to the park, be sure to come and take a look at the advertising boards on the exterior of the Exodus construction site, because we very well might be getting some new ones quite soon. But yeah, thank you all very much for joining me for yet another Project Exodus construction update. I'm absolutely gutted we didn't get to see those gold supports arrive here at the park today, but hopefully, as I said, they will be arriving pretty soon. So yeah, be sure to subscribe to be notified as soon as that happens. I'll be over at that island filming that exciting update for you all. And yeah, thank you all very much for watching yet another Project Exodus update. I really do appreciate it. Thank you all for dealing with my croaky voice. Hopefully it's better for the next one. But yeah, my name is TheJackSilkstone. Goodbye.